So let me deeper into what you touched upon a little bit. The big question of, since you're talking about the stage when you're going from, let's say, founder-led sales, where you maybe found the first, 3, 5, 10 customers through your personal Rolodex, through just pounding the pavement, through LinkedIn, whatever. Going from there to, deciding, first of all, making your first go-to-market hire, external hire. So just wanted to get your thoughts around that. What's a good timing for that, and what kind of hire to look for? And it's a pretty broad slate, so feel free to take it in whatever direction. But I think that's a question that we see with companies very often, right? And we help them to think through. But love to get your perspectives on that. When are there some specific metrics, certain points when you should start thinking about your first go-to-market hire, and typically what should that look like, or what should that choice be driven by?
I don't think there is any reason for a company to exist if not for selling. I really believe that. I mean, every engineer who wants to write code wants to do it because they want that code to be used by as many people as possible. But at the same time, the process of engineering is also a creative process. And just like any other creative people, they never feel that their product is complete. Their product can stand the test of times. They never feel like, it's like the children, you don't want you to ever feel like they can actually walk on themselves or go play this or do any of those things. But others, the coach will know they can push the kids farther than they are. So at some point in time, sooner than later, before the product is ready, before the product is quote unquote bug free, before the customers are ready for it, the company's job is to take this and show it down the prospective customer's throat and hold their nose down so that they will swallow it. It's a forceful process. But the key is to make sure that you never let them down. Right? They will know the product will fail. They will know that the promises are not going to be kept. They will know there will be bugs. They will know the roadmap will change. They will know the salespeople will come and go. But they will need to know that the people behind this company will not let them down. The people will not fail them. So that process is not something that you want to wait too long. Because in Nutanix days, in early 2009, 2010, it's really old story now, in a sense. There you had 2.5 years before you have to go to the market. But today, if you take 18 months, that's probably already late. Because the infrastructure already exists for you to take something out there, put it out there, do it well enough, get the feedback, and iteratively make those things better. And while you are making that better, you start on the next arc, which is going to disrupt the world one more time, right? So that process cannot wait. In that sense, it is as critical, in my view, to have someone who understands the process of selling in the modern way, be part of as close to the founding team as possible. Now the question is, can you afford and all of those sort of things? The answer is you cannot afford not to have that. If your goal is to sell this product, you might as well start it. So as soon as you get a version of the product that is ready to couple with the customer's business problem, I think it is important to have a modern sales team attached to it. And what I mean by that is a modern sales organization that understands not just the vision of the company, but the mission of the company. Understand what the product could do today versus what the product could do tomorrow. Understands the scope within which we have to oscillate and vacillate, but will not lose the direction, the true north the company wants to go. As opposed to a large customer is dangling a large PO and they come and scream and the entire engineering organization is chasing that deal that may never materialize. So it's a different type of a sales DNA. That's more of a product marketing DNA, more of an SC DNA. But that person, I think the sooner they are part of this company, the better the company will be. Because ultimately when the customers come in, the products mature. And their problems, when people are ready to vote with their wallet, you will see how to prioritize. Otherwise, in absence of that, prioritization is a dark art. And you cannot be a company that is chasing ghosts in the darkness with features and prioritization.
So well said by Sudheesh. I think the few things to add, right? And I think adding personal experiences from Demisto, sooner the better, always, right? I mean, in some senses, I actually think the CEO or the founders need to be the first salesperson, and they cannot let it go for almost first 3 years of the journey, even after you have the sales team, because there is so much to be learned from every sales engagement that it's a disaster if you do not absorb all of that learning back in the listening mode you were saying. Which is why I think either you need somebody almost from the beginning, or the founder needs to spend as much time in that cycle. I think the second interesting point, I think it's like I'm meeting Sudheesh for the first time, but I completely agree that your first salesperson must be with a product and SE background. You cannot, like, these deals these days, nobody closes a deal on a golf course. Gone are the days, right? It's like your sales team needs to be able to talk the value prop of to the customer, differentiate themselves. You cannot bring in an SE in the third meeting and says, let me tell the SE will tell you how we differentiate from our competition. If you do not grab the attention and answering the questions, people lose attention. So I think the question is like, when are you ready? I think my point is you need to get your first sales hire, sooner the better. There is a trade-off on kind of the cost, but if you're prudent enough, your first sales hire could be a mix of an SE, a product marketing, and a sales mix, this generalist. I have seen even a startup calling him growth hacker. I don't know what that means, but sure, that first person. But I think you need that DNA either already as part of the founding team or soon enough. We used some of our engineers heavily in that, right? I mean, you got our first sales guy who was SE background sales, but then for that learning purposes, we used 2 of our chief architects throughout that. Like, they were engaged on the first few deals, and you crash and burn. To your point, it's like we lost first 2 customers who tried the product, but they actually left with an amazing taste. Like, guys, you stood behind us. You're not ready. Good luck, talk to us in a year. And we've got them as customers after a year because we left that with that experience. So that matters a lot.